Hello? Testing. Testing. I'm frightened and wonder to find myself here. I am frightened and wonder to find myself here rather than there, for there is no reason why I should be here rather than there, now rather than then. Hello, hello, hello.
You know, one of the things that I like about some of what's going on in New York is it's for a small audience. Yes, it's on the internet. Yes, we have Patreons. Thank you, love you, from a couple different countries now. But mostly it's a downtown thing. And people are gravitating towards stuff now that I think that's smaller and not necessarily... You do a national news show, you got to have an opinion that makes a lot of people happy a lot of places.
I mean, even in terms, this is, I guess, less like investigative and news, but I've noticed on TikTok, I'll see a lot of like Arc Digest will post like a tour of someone's house, and then some girl on TikTok will go through the article and speak it in sound bites, the key points. And so it's just some random girl, but she can get...
And that's more popular sometimes.
It can get, exactly. I mean, I'm like, that would be such an easy way to make money, monetize that. But it's interesting because on the one hand, it's providing more access to people who can talk about things, and also probably more people are going to see it than people that read these like news sources, but it also, some things obviously a little bit lost in that too. So
it's blog. I mean, this is like blog culture of like this culture of aggregation. And like, I think when blogs, especially like sites like Business Insider, that whole digital media like boom in the early 2010s, like so much of what they were doing was just like arbitrage of like getting these like, the New York Times, would publish a big story. Business Insider would come, aggregate it, and then capture all the traffic. And like now we see that happening on TikTok. And I think it's like, I mean, to me, I always feel like it's still good for Architectural Digest or whatever because their story is being amplified. So and like talked about, which does like broaden the reach. But you're right, like they're not doing it directly.
But then good for whatever random high school girl likes architecture and can build a platform doing that too. But
I totally agree.
It also like we don't want to see the people who want an abridged version of something served. That's a little bit of the annoying part when you see it and you think, oh, this has been abridged to a pop culture way. But we also don't want to admit that there's a bunch of people who want that. There's a bunch of people who want it shorter and sweeter and a little funner.
And sometimes that makes them go into the deeper version.
Right. And then the right people will click on the article.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the stuff that's supposed to be negative about social media is actually just teaching. Like we're just growing, even though it's negative. It's like a sibling thing. Where like your siblings punch you sometimes, but then later in life you're not so scared of getting punched. It's like a little bit like that. I think a lot about the negative, what people say are the negative parts of social media. And I think about how maybe they're not bad.
Like what?
Like abusing each other. Are you ready for my thing?
Let's hear the hot take.
Okay, here's the hot take.
I love a hot take.
I think that...
I'm excited to hear about it.
I think that establishment media and academics and the big grown adults have known a lot more about abuse, Freudian abuse, and other kinds of social abuse. And I think in the past there was like people who were good at abusing other people, and they had like that one girl, she just knows the moves. But now we're doing it now across the whole world to each other all the time, and we're like arming each other with kind of the psychic tools that only the ad agencies had before. The big Freudian concepts and the way you kind of use them against each other that people would only learn in therapy in the past. Their therapist would tell them, look, what you're doing is abusive. You don't know it, but you're doing this to your partner or something. And then they would learn, oh, wow, that's what projection is. Well, now young men and women are teaching each other on social media all of this abusive stuff. And I think that that's why, like the bipolar disorder girl meme and all that stuff, we're all learning now to navigate all of these tools that were actually used by like to sell us like cigarettes before. And stuff like
I think the way like people
am I crazy? Say I'm crazy.
No, I think you're right in the sense of like, well, there's this like I forgot the name of it. There's a term for this, but it's like this kind of like therapy speak language and like clinicalizing a lot of behavior patterns in like psychologizing them, or like
it's so popular right now.
It's so popular. Oh my God, and everyone like But I think that's like generally, I agree with you. I think it's a general good thing to have more awareness of that.
Right.
Also just because like it arms you. Like if you're dealing with a true narcissist or something, like you can recognize that now. Whereas like you used to previously not. I mean, I think like just the broad knowledge that people have about everything, even like niche topics, like is really powerful.
That's what I was thinking before. Like when a person, the first time someone in real life uses some abusive trick on them, it's already happened on Twitter when they were 12.
Yeah.
It already happened to them. They already know what it's like to meet somebody that's going to blow a bunch of smoke up their ass.
Okay,
What do you think?
I think that particularly just going off of that, I think some of the very sorry, I said that word wrong.
Yeah, I get your therapeutic language or whatever.
I just think it gets a little, like, not everyone that's mean to you is a narcissist.
Yes.
And then there's so much, it's so easy to be like, I recognize these narcissistic traits, or like the amount of like things, I think there's been pushback about this online, but the whole like boundary talk, of, like setting a boundary. Here's what you say if your friend needs you, but you don't, like, I don't have room for this right now. You're just being mean. Like, there's a point where you can't, of course your emotions are valid, whatever, but that's not always an excuse to like, or like the other, like,
but maybe we're also tearing down the concepts as well when we're doing this.
No, I think, and I think
we're
that there's
pushing the boundaries of all these concepts.
I just think there's such an applies to thee, not to me thing. Like I know you've talked about the NYC influencer Reddit thread and all of that, and I think,
oh my God, I'm scared of that
it's
Reddit.
Terrifying.
It's that Reddit, those snark Reddit. That is that.
Which Reddit is bad? Tell me, I'll go back.
It says NYC influencers. Are we
on there?
We haven't. No,
Chloe,
it's a snark.
Chloe, put us on this.
No, it's a snark. It's basically like there's a long history of snark subreddits. It's born out of these internet forums, basically, and it's gossip. Yeah. It's a space to gossip. And by the way, people deserve a place for gossip. I think what's hard is when is like this atomization of fame, like kind of what you're talking about, of like these niche, like people are smaller. So if you're gossiping about like a celebrity, it's like, okay, but I think then you have people gossiping about people with like 115,000 followers who are like not total public figures. And those people, those influencers too, like it's so hard to deal with. And I've reacted so badly. Like I've seen people write stuff about me on Reddit and I get so like, I'm like,
don't say that. They'll write a bunch of stuff.
Whatever. I mean, it's like
they're doing it right now. Oh, she says she hates it. We're doing it right now.
Oh my God. But no, but like it's human nature to like want to like correct the record about yourself or whatever. And I agree with you. I think it's tough. It's tough, and I think that language gets weaponized a lot, and it's toxic.
Another thing from that I think is interesting, and I wanted to ask what you think about it, is the way, and I think you've talked about this, the way they take moral high ground. Like, for example, there'll be like Alex Earl, who's like the girl that's like blowing up right now. They'll be in the thread and they'll be like, she looks so fat and ugly here. It's because she's a binge drinker and promoting toxic behavior to young audience. Like, no, you're just being mean. And if you want to be mean, fine. But it's so weird.
No, this is
the way they pretend it's morally.
I mean, this is where we hit the algorithm again, right? And say like we're all being encouraged to be mean because it gets a lot of likes. So we're all like,
but you're also encouraged to virtue signal and say like, I am just trying to look out for young girls who think binge drinking is okay, because then you'll look fat and heinous like her. Like it gets so like crazy.
What it is it's people. I think that everyone, and I made a TikTok about this. Everyone would be better off if they could just admit that they want to be a hater, that they don't like this. Just admit you don't like this person. But instead, people have to like make this sort of like justification that actually they're morally righteous for not liking that person. It's like, no, you just hate that person. You don't fuck with that person. Just be like, I think they're annoying. Fine. But like instead, it's like, no, I'm morally justified. It's actually, I'm such a good person, and that's why I hate this person.
Right.
Well, I'm going to stick to my guns and think that I hope that this whole process just kind of flattens us all out, and all the people we're talking about learn one day, you know? Yeah. And somebody looks back at a long string of this and they're like, I was kind of an asshole in this.
And just to be clear, I don't mind. I love gossip. I love tabloid news. Like I'm not trying to be like, but I just like it goes. Yeah, I totally.
Love gossip.
This is half a gossip show. This is half of a gossip.
I think it's so weird to say like heinously mean stuff on Reddit and then be like, her mother voted for Trump in 2016, and therefore we need to take it. Like you just don't like her.
I know.
But you should read the Caroline Calloway Reddit thread. That
is I might.
Wild.
You know, I'm doing what most people are doing, and I'm only looking up myself sometimes.
Yeah.
Way back when all that stuff was happening, I looked myself up once, and I was like, oh my God, I'm on here. You know, and I had that thing where I'm like, no, I'll make a fake account. I'm going to tell everybody what the truth is. I went through all that stuff.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's like, I just kind of check in sometimes. I'm like, oh, there's this stuff.
I think everyone goes through this, like, period, especially if you get any kind of internet attention, where, like, you see yourself and you see people like putting a different version of you, and like you want to like weigh in because you think, oh, if I just explain myself to them, the truth is no one gives a shit.
Isn't just
they don't care.
Isn't that
they want to be hating on you that day, and you just have to accept that. And
but
it's
the urge is like this fundamental modern civilization thing where you want other people to see you the way you see yourself.
Yes, totally.
And so there is a nuclear arms race on social media to convince everybody you've ever met of who you are.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know if that's gonna go away, but thank you so much for coming. I could have gone on forever. You're so much fun. There was a bunch of stuff we didn't ask you about, Web3 stuff, all sorts of crap.
Web3, I'm kind of glad the crypto era is over.
It is ending quickly. Don't get mad at me if you have money in that. It's not my fault. Is there anything else you want to shout out in the last minutes?
Just my book. I mean, my book is about the internet. I think people really like it. It's this like history of the internet and kind of like the rise of social media from 2000 to 2020.
It's already on Amazon for pre-order.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can leave comments there or anything.
Vote it.
But if you could put WVFP in there and be like, we hope he's in the book.
Pre-orders are so important for pre-orders like the main thing that matters for a book. So even if you think you might read it, just pre-order it.
You can even chart before it comes out, right? Through pre-orders?
Yeah. Well, pre-orders like the whole like Amazon thing is so crazy, but like if you don't get enough traction in pre-orders, they like don't put your book on the shelves.
We go there right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody. Chloe, Pingeon, Taylor Lorenz. They don't know each other at all, we swear. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks
for having me. Sorry, I was like an hour late.
No.
Oh my God.
You were pretty late. But you know what?
Crazy, you guys.